In this video, we're going to go through how to do a manual yield calibration in an S790 combine. You only need to do a manual yield calibration if you're not going to use ActiveYield, and if you are using ActiveYield, a manual calibration does not do any good for you. So the first step is go to main menu, machine settings, calibrations and procedures. First thing we need to go is go into ActiveYield and make sure it is turned off. And we'll go back one step, scroll down to yield calibration. Before starting this, you will need to start with the combine being empty. You will calibrate for as long as you want up until you fill the combine or less. And at the end, you will need some way to measure the load you collect. So we're ready to start here. We're going to press record. There is a little graph here that will show our flow rate as we're going through the field. As you can see, there's little hashes along here. To get a good yield calibration, you want to do about 5 different samples, 3 of which are a low flow rate, a medium flow rate, and a high flow rate. The low flow rate is going to keep your pointer between these 2 hashes, a medium between these 2 hash areas, and a high flow will be through these upper 2 hashes. So on the right here, this graph shows us the minimum amount we need for a good calibration, and it will keep track of our total weight. We're going to go ahead and push start. I'm going to turn the machine on. As is the case most times, I need to go back and check some things before I take off. You can exit the screen after you push start. We're going to start harvesting crop. Now I can go back to calibrations procedures, go to yield calibration. As we can see, we're getting a flow rate. I'm going to go ahead and do a low flow rate. As you can see, I want to keep that flow rate there between the first 2 hash marks. Over on the right here, you can see so far we've collected about 400 pounds, and we want to go until we get at least to this light green, and it'd be better if we can get to the dark green. It's best to do a manual yield calibration once you can go back and forth to the field. It's not usually best to do it while opening up a field, or if you've got cut up pieces, or even when trying to do some of these flow rate ones, it's hard to do when you've got a high amount of crop variability. As you can see, I'm starting to creep to the upper end, so I'm going to slow down a little bit to adjust my flow rate. Right, as you can see, still keeping that flow rate around 11 and a half. But on the right here, we've reached a little over 3,000 pounds, which is the minimum amount necessary to collect a sample load. When you get to that point, you'll see this done button lights up. If we want to go ahead and keep continuing on, we can wait and collect a larger sample. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and stop. Now I'm going to hit done. And I want to make sure, since I've hit done, I don't collect any more grain. I'm going to go unload this, and then I'm going to come back. Once I get that weight, I can come back in the screen, hit match scale weight, and once I get the weight back from our scales, we can put it in there, and we've done a calibration load.